Hello, and thank you for joining me on a very lovely day. It actually is a really nice day out. Yesterday was a little dreary, but that's not important right now because behind me is a 1960 Ford Falcon, and you might know this Falcon particularly because it belongs to that guy in the funny hat standing stoically near it. His name is Mr. Regular from Regular Car Reviews. This is his Ford Falcon named Vagabond Falcon. So he's going to go around the car, or I'm going to pester him to give me details about this thing because this is awesome. It looks sort of stock-ish, but there is a lot of engineering, a lot of R&D that went into this car, and it is awesome. I just took a ride for it. God, the climate's getting to me. I just took a ride in it, and I'm actually going to drive it for a little while and hopefully, you know, have a nice experience with this 60s. Now it's a muscle car, right? Or is it a... Okay, I'm going to call it a muscle car. So I'm going to turn this camera around and Mr. Regular, he's going to give us a nice tour. Okay, well, Mr. Regular.
Yes.
Awesome hat, by the way.
Thank you.
So, this is a 1960 Ford Falcon. And when did you get it?
Oh gosh, I got it about a year and a half ago. It probably was a year ago. It was last summer, not this past summer, but the summer before. Forgive me, I don't know the years.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it in Nashville, Tennessee, and attempted to drive it all the way back to Pennsylvania. Got as far as Strasburg, Virginia, and didn't make it. It started overheating. That was it in completely stock form. It had advertised 80 horsepower. It was probably making somewhere around 50.
So this thing has been modified a fair bit.
Yes. The easy way to think of the Vagabond Falcon is it's a 1960 Ford Falcon on top and a 1993 Fox body Mustang underneath.
Wow.
The rear end is a 98 AOD. The rear end is a Ford 8.8 out of a 98 Explorer.
Okay.
Although the GT Mustangs use that rear end as well. That gives me 373 rear gearing, which is pretty aggressive, and I may take it down to 355. And it also
To make it better for the highway, right?
Right, yeah. You'll notice if you're on the highway, it feels like it's working a little bit harder than it has to, especially with a motor this big and a car this small.
So, speaking of the motor, what kind of motor do you have in there?
The motor is a 50 HO.
Mm-hmm.
It's been converted from fuel injection back to carburation and
All right.
including a manual fuel pump. The engine has a name, and it's called the 302 Redeemer.
Redeemer.
Yeah.
Oh, that is exceptionally clean.
Thank you very much. The interesting thing about it is it's still running a stock camshaft.
Okay.
A new one, but still stock lift and duration.
Right.
Bruce insisted that we do that. I said, do you think we should put a hotter cam in here? He says, no, you want to drive this thing. The stock cam is plenty for what you're going to be doing. And it idles very nice. My buddy Matt said that when he was driving it, it sounded like an old work truck because even though we have different headers coming out, it still goes down to a Walker Quiet Flow muffler, which I love.
Yeah.
And out a single dump in the back to hide the fact that there's a V8 in here. In fact, some people who are into old cars hear this thing coming and they think, is that the original motor? I said, no, there's a V8 in there. I said, you're kidding. Well, yeah, we didn't run an X-pipe, we didn't run dumps out the back, and it just sounds normal.
So I noticed that you're using the mechanical fuel pump that was sort of
That was a long process.
Was it original equipment on, you know, a 302 back then?
The interesting thing, you said 302. If you want to get deep into Fords, if you refer to the motor as a 302, you're usually referring it to like the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
When the Fox body Mustang came out, they started referring to it in its metric designation, which is a 5-liter.
Okay.
So when you said if you say it's a 5.0, you're saying it's one of the newer Windsor blocks.
Oh,
if you say 302, you're talking about the older ones.
Okay.
What's the difference? Not much.
Uh-huh.
There's little things. Parts are slightly different, such as water pumps and accessories, of course. And usually when someone says 5.0, they're usually referring to the fuel-injected Windsor motors.
Okay.
With that big intake plenum, which this originally had.
All right, so this is technically a 5.0, but 302'd.
Like a 302.
Yeah, it has had the 302 conversion.
Yeah.
Even though the nomenclature is exactly the same.
It's exactly the same. Yeah.
All right, cool. So you have that's an oil catch can over there.
Right over there, yeah.
Right.
Which goes from that breather into there. That was an eBay. That's one of the cheapest things.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an $8 eBay thing, but it matches everything. So
Thank you very much, China.
Yeah.
Wow. So you have a fuel. Is this fuel pressure,
fuel
right?
pressure, so you can keep an eye on that. And also, it's a regulator because that thing, it's an old style, but it's still a modern fuel pump, which can do like 8 psi.
Yeah.
Carburetors only need like 5.
That's nuts.
Even though it's registering exactly 5.
It's crazy that you only need 5 psi to run an engine.
All it has to do is fill the fuel bowl. It's an Edelbrock, so it doesn't really have a fuel bowl. It has a fuel chamber. All it has to do is just fill it up, and then the vacuum takes care of the rest.
Right. So you added power brakes.
Power brakes, dual power, or dual,
dual piston? No, a
dual plane, and then a dual master cylinder, and then a proportioning valve, because we have discs on all 4 wheels.
And a big ass red horn.
Second one over there. These are stock. This is what it came with.
Oh yeah.
They're loud. They sound like Dad.
All right, so let's look at these awesome wheels. I'm gonna get out of the sun so we can actually see them. But these wheels. So what? These look obviously bigger than stock.
Yeah. If you want to criticize the Vagabond Falcon, people mostly criticize the wheels. They're a little bit donkish. We got them from Wheel Vintiques, and when you're getting wheels from a sponsor, you take what they give you. And they do work. If you look at the back, Wheel Vintiques had to change the offset in the front and the rear. Notice they're different.
Yeah.
The rears have to sit in a little bit because the way Ford designed the body of the Falcon, the rear wheel arches are skirted, and they also curve inward instead of outward.
Okay.
So you're limited. So by having a larger wheel and a 50 series tire, you can be sure that the tire isn't going to bow out and rub in the back. So a little bit of form following function there.
But it looks really good. Were they painted with a stock red?
Bruce Henn did that. Those are powder coated.
Wow.
They came bare steel. Bruce powder coated them at the shop and also put a layer of clear coat powder coater on top of that. And he almost was able to match it perfectly.
Yeah, it looks very good.
With Eastwood powder coat.
Cool. So let's go inside, and I think you're going to give me a nice primer on what it's like.
I'll take the camera then.
Okay. All right. I like this bench seat. Yeah. Ooh. You can sort of feel the springs. All right. So
now,
this 69,000 written in tape.
That is the oil change. I'm almost there. It's almost time for an oil change.
Okay, yeah, that's like in 49 miles. Wow, okay.
You have your ignition over there on the left.
Okay, this? Yeah.
Yep.
Ignition on over here on the left. It's a Le Mans style start. Anything I have to pull, push?
You don't. We're all warmed up. We have the temperature gauge is off the peg. We're ready to crank. Let's first operate this B&M Mega Shifter right here.
Okay.
Here's the way you do it. You see you got a trigger there in the front.
Yeah.
Take a hold of that, pull the trigger up, yank it all the way back, and it'll go into 2. Here, put foot on the brake. Ka-chunk, all the way back. 2. 2's really drive, and then drive is overdrive. To get it into overdrive, you release your fingers from the trigger, and now click up. There you go. See, it requires a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
To go back to park, release your fingers from the trigger, click back. There you go. Now trigger up all the way front into park. And you don't have to be worried. You don't have to worry about being rough with this thing. You're made. If you were drag racing, you would click down into 1, and as you were drag racing, the thing about these ratcheting shifters, you can't accidentally shift into the wrong gear or even shift into reverse by accident.
Yeah.
So you got your one hand on the wheel, you're going down the track, you know you're at red line, you just go bam, next gear, bam, and now you're Fast and the Furious style. It's made to do that. You're not going to break it.
Oh my God.
And you see from here, you can't get into reverse. It won't let you. And in fact, the trigger, you try to pull on it when it's in
the drive mode, it won't come out. You have to go back to go up, and that's the safety thing, so you don't break your transmission.
Wow. You might break your hand though. Yeah, just
They're tough.
This is like Jay Leno said, when men were men and women were proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Alrighty.
so these are like I like. Do these actually do anything?
Choke doesn't work. Defrost doesn't work anymore. But the defrost.
I like how you're just supposed to know what these things do.
Yeah. Well, they say up above.
Oh, okay.
But they're far from it.
Got it.
Your lights work. The wipers now are down below. You can see there's an electric switch now. Yes. Now there's an electric motor. They're converted to electric. Right. These are your heating and cooling controls.
Does it have AC?
Oh no. Oh no. What is that?
I'm sorry I asked. I'm sorry I asked the question.
You got 4 windows.
It's good enough. Good enough for the 60s. It's good enough for you.
Honestly, it's not bad in the summertime.
Yeah, I can imagine.
This controls. This is the amount of heat. See that down there, that little door opening and closing? I painted it blue so you can see it. The farther you pull this out, the warmer the air becomes from the blower.
Right.
You turn it, and then it turns it on.
Wow.
That's to turn the blower motor on. It has 1 speed. This also says pull for temperature. It would move the air around, but since we had to cut the transmission tunnel larger, we didn't have room for the whole. There was a sort of an air plenum thing, like air ducts.
Yeah.
That gave you the choice of, do you want it coming out on the top for your defrost, or do you want to have it come down here for your legs? There is no. You see, there's no vents here for your face. There is none.
Gotcha.
This was almost considered your face. So.
Well, I mean, the vent for your face would be the window.
Yeah. The dash. Now, when you turn the heat on, it comes on defrost naturally. So if we had to choose, do you want it on your legs or do you want that defrost going? Well, you want the defrost. Yeah. You're going to need it.
What's funny is, well, this dash is made of metal. And this is actually a structural part of the car.
It is.
So I can imagine when the heat comes on, this dash gets hot.
A little bit toasty.
It just radiates heat.
Hey, it radiates heat like a Phaeton.
No, of course. Not even a Maybach has this. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, let's
start it.
Let's start it. So
You're in park. Put your foot on the brake.
Foot on the brake.
And cranker. Let go.
There we go.
We're rolling.
It started.
It's idling. Yep.
Idling nicely. So one thing straight off the bat is there are no seatbelts. No. Anywhere. So
seatbelts weren't available in the Falcons, I think, until maybe 63.
It's a weird feeling for me because I feel like this is illegal.
It feels that way initially. Yeah.
That doesn't feel like I shouldn't be doing this. Like they're gonna find out. All right. So we have shifter.
Yeah. Foot on the brake.
Foot on the brake.
Trigger up. Trigger down into 2. Release the trigger.
Got that.
And ratchet it up. And you can do it while you drive, too.
Okay, so ratchet it up after it gets out of second gear.
Yeah. You can do it now. Yeah. There you go. When we get back to the garage, if you remind me, I'll explain why that is.
Cool. Oh my God, this bus steering wheel. It's thin and it's huge. So you put out a lot of torque, and it's power assisted.
Oh no, there's no power assist.
There's no power assist.
No power assist.
Okay.
You have a lot of torque with your hands. It's a big lever.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You can also do this.
You can grab it in the middle.
Grab it in the middle. Just wow. So this didn't even have like this. The horn didn't even have like in the 70s they had this rubber thing that went on there as a crash prevention before.
Yeah.
Yeah. This doesn't have that.
Yeah. Give the horn a sound.
That is an horn. So where are we going? Left?
All right. If you want back roads, go left. Highway, go right.
All right.
And you're gonna want to lift up on the gas pedal when we know you're coming to a stop. The brakes won't have to work as hard because the you can hear the gas drum.
Okay, yeah.
Because that sticks a little bit.
You know, you can put some silicone grease, silicone spray on it, and it should be a little easier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. has a great induction noise.
Thanks. Now the wind does whistle because body panel fitment.
Yeah. Wow. So
Actually,
we're in
I'll
the
take
hills
it.
of Pennsylvania, and I'm driving this 1960 Ford Falcon. No rear view mirrors, by the way.
Side mirrors.
Yeah,
We got a rear view mirror there. but
Yeah, there's a rear view mirror here, but there's no side mirror.
Those were considered safety options. And when you got them, you only got a driver's one.
And you see, this road, it's nice.
At this stop sign here, take a right. It's a nice cruising road.
Okay. I mean, this is a... it's a nice road, but like I know that the car can handle it as far as its suspension.
Mm-hmm.
It's a modern car underneath, but right now, none of this...
No.
Oh, that's my camera telling me that... No, it's just got auto off. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, none of this is modern. I'm feeling like I'm still on bias ply tires with a single barrel, straight six. This is great. I mean, it rides pretty good. It rides a little firmer than
definitely,
than I think.
yeah.
Especially because it has coilovers now, right?
Right. Yeah, coilovers and thinner tires. You feel it, and they'll see it on the camera. We're bouncing around more than it looks like because this seat is part of your suspension.
Yeah. So the seat has springs in it.
You bounce in it.
Wow.
I'll call out. There are some hairpins on this road.
Mhm.
I'll tell you when they're coming.
Okay. So I can nail it and drift like a boss.
This thing probably, if you need to put this on track, it probably will drift with that 373 rear gearing and limited slip differential. It'll probably do something.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely, but it's a little weird. You have to lift up on the throttle, and it's not just taking your foot off the throttle. I have to put my
lift it
foot underneath the throttle
And lift it up.
and then lift it up because it won't. Otherwise, it won't idle, and
It idles too high. It
idles
sticks
too high.
a little bit. Now, sometimes I let it idle high if the engine's having a bad day, and sometimes it stalls. Honestly, if I let it idle too low when the engine on a hot day, it stalls more.
So how optimistic is this speedometer?
5 miles an hour optimistic.
Okay.
You're going 5 miles an hour slower than what's indicated.
All right. So the speed limit here is 40. I'm doing 40. I'm doing just about 40.
The interesting thing is all the mechanics that make that speedometer work from 1960 hooked right up to a 19... Yeah, that was a hairpin, or type one. And then we got another one coming up.
No, it just feels it feels interesting because the wheel is unlike anything I've felt. Because you have to turn so much, and the driving position. Look, like usually driving position, you want it at your wrist length like this. I'm right here. I'm halfway into my forearm.
Yeah, you extend your hand all the way. You're touching the dash.
Yeah. And the dash, like the dash's dash and windshield is about, I don't know, say a foot and a half from my face.
Yeah, I'm touching the windshield right now. Keep going straight.
Wow. But this is such an experience.
Glad you like it.
So it was a labor of love for, you said,
I couldn't do this without Bruce Henn.
Bruce Henn.
He's amazing. He's unbelievable that he was able to do this. And also to all the sponsors and people who watch regular car reviews that allow this car to be created.
It is a little noisy. Let me know where I can give it a little beans.
We're coming into a town.
Yeah, we're coming. Okay, I see a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Yeah, we'll meet back up again with a highway.
Well, this is a dad's car. A dad wouldn't speed through a town. You know, a dashing gentleman like yourself would not engage in such tomfoolishness.
Right.
So, is there anything that you want to do on this car that you haven't done?
Just a bigger radiator. That's
Okay.
it. Bigger radiator and maybe seatbelts.
Maybe seatbelts. I mean, yeah, it's sort of optional, you know. In case you crash, you want to kind of survive.
We'd have to weld in plates in the floor and then drill holes through that, because if you're just going to go straight here. Because if you just bolt the seat belts into the floor, in the God forbid crash, You're going to make a right turn here. It's the only move you can make at this intersection. These seat belts would pull right through the floor. They just pull right out.
Yeah, yeah. So how about this? Instead of you having to weld anything to the accelerator pedal to prevent this stuff from happening, why don't you just put a spring on it?
It's an idea. It's a very good idea.
Yeah. So it just does it automatically.
Yeah.
And the brakes, what kind of brakes do you have on this?
4-wheel discs. They're all single piston. The rear discs and do they have a stop sign?
I don't want to take a chance.
I think they do.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, another one.
That's why I waited, man.
Yeah. The front brakes came with the kit from TCI. They came already assembled.
Okay. Are they
brakes,
single pistons, dual piston?
Single piston in the front, and then the rear brakes are Ford Explorer brakes, or rather, they were probably the same sort of ones that just came on whatever 8.8 rear.
All right.
You're going to be making a right turn, not here but here.
Right here.
Correct.
Okay. Not here, but here. That is an awesome statement.
Not here but here.
So how about this? I mean, we're on a nice road. Let's get some lunch.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Do you want me to cut?
Cool. No. Well, here's the thing. I'm just rambling now. I think that's the point. We'll end. This car is awesome. Thank you very, very much for allowing me to drive it.
You're gonna bear to the right of this road just because that's where the go straight area is.
Gotcha. So, regular cars is where you go. Regular car reviews on YouTube. YouTube.com/regular cars.
Yep.
Okay. And if you're not subscribed, you should definitely subscribe.
Thank you.
All right. That was a lot of fun. I probably should get one of these. So at some point in my life, but I'm not there yet. I'm not as cool as this guy over here. Well, anyway, if you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, you know what to do. Dislike button's right there. I'm going to do more videos about my Aston, more videos about my Mercedes. I'm driving to Florida, and you're going to be along every step of the way. So I'll see you again next time.